Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series SS-10 Jazz from the 2007 movie. So to start off, take a look at the packaging. Got this nice picture of Jazz here. Got the 2007 logo. See that backdrop back there. Here's another picture of Jazz with an Autobot logo up here. I do like that art though. It's nice. On the back here, we have a picture of him and his robot and his Pontiac Solstice mode. Got some of the other ones, Wave 1, Wave 1. Here's another one from Wave 2. And here we have Jazz Deluxe Class. Got the big 10 up there. Take a look at the backdrop. So this backdrop here, it is very similar to the one that was included with the, I believe it was SS-06 Starscream, but I don't think it's exactly the same. I think it is different. I think the framing is a little bit different. I think the Starscream one is more, it's kind of like a side shot, if that makes sense. But very similar looking backdrops, but not identical. So taking a look at his robot mode here, I think that they did a really great job with this robot mode here, other than you got this whole backpack here, but that's fine. But they got this whole section here to reverse the way it should be. And it's got this really nice silver paint job to it, if you can see that. It's like metallic silver. It's really nice. All in all, I just really like how this figure turned out. From the back, it's a little ugly just because it's car parts, but from the front it looks really good. You got these little painted sections in here showing off some details there. All in all, I think the robot mode looks really nice. Pretty accurate to what we see on screen. And Jazz is really small. And to show that off, here is the SS-27 Clunker Bumblebee. These are both deluxe class figures. And that doesn't really show off the size difference too much because Bumblebee is also kind of small. But bringing out, let's do the SS-09 Thundercracker here. Let's move these guys. Just get some room. Bringing in Thundercracker here. Now Thundercracker is a big Voyager, but he makes Jazz look really small, if you see that. And Jazz is really small. I'd only say I don't have a ruler handy, but I'd say if I had to guess about 4.5, 5 inches tall, maybe. Can't be much bigger than that. But overall, small, but the robot mode looks really nice, and it is accurate. He should be really small, and accounting for his vehicle mode, it makes quite a bit of sense. But he does come with one accessory here. This is his little satellite dish-looking blaster from the first movie. And there's a handle here, and there's a port here that you can use to peg it onto his hand. You can either have him hold onto the handle with this hand, or you can take this hand here, and you can flip it around, and you have that little post there. That post will slide into the hole right there. And that's how he would hold it. Pretty cool looking. And I'll show you, you can actually fold this down, and this here will hook into the spoiler for vehicle mode. But I'll show you that when we get him all transformed. So for articulation here on this guy, his head is on a ball joint, but it's also on a little section there that can move, so it's kind of hard to maneuver. But his head is on a ball joint, so it can spin around. Ball joints have pretty good range of motion. His arms here can do full 360. He has kind of like a swinging joint down in there, but he also has a little clicking joint right there. But he also has another one up here. So there's like 3 different joints in the shoulders there. You can get some pretty dynamic poses out of his shoulders. He also has double jointed elbows here. And Let's get that to stay focused. So he has a ball joint right here, but he also has that joint there. If you saw that, it's down in there. So you can bend this up and then bend this up, and you can get his arm to fold like entirely. It's pretty cool. And then his hands can kind of move up and down. That's kind of for transformation, and it's for the accessory. But in this hand can do the same. It's just the hand looks a little bit different. And up here in his legs, he can swivel that way. I think that's a ball joint. Yeah, okay, that's a ball joint at the hips there. And then he has rotation here at the thigh. He's got a knee joint. And there is kind of like a double hinged knee joint down in there, but you're not really supposed to utilize that. That's more for transformation. But then he does have ankle rocker joints, which is nice to see. And before we go ahead and transform this guy, actually, I do have one more comparison I wanted to make. And that is the 2007 movie Jazz with the 1986 movie Jazz. So this is the SS-10, the 2007 movie Jazz, and this is the SS-8601, the 1986 Jazz. And I gotta say, they're not too similar, but there are some similarities here that I just kind of really wanted to point out. And I mean, there's only so many basic shapes that you can do with these transformers, so there's going to be some similarities between all of them. But I just want to point some of these out. Down here at their feet, they both have the tires right here. Now this is... No, yeah, those are both the back tires. Yep, these are both the back tires down here at his feet. Then his legs come up. The top tires both kind of make the shoulders. This one folds in. This one stays out. They have the whole roof of the car on their backs here. Even their head sculpts are kind of similar. Like you can tell, if I can get that to focus there. You can definitely tell, like with the visors and the little ear pieces or whatever. It's not really wanting to focus, but you can really tell that this design was at least influenced by this design. Like they even got the front of the car there with the lights on their chest and everything. There's a lot of similarities here, and I never would have noticed that without putting these two next to each other. So just wanted to point that out. We can go ahead and get started with transformation here. So there is one part of this transformation that kind of worries me. Like this, it's not even that old. It's only from like 2018, I think. But this whole section in here, when you untab this, it kind of has to like snap out. So I'm just a little worried about that. So I'm gonna kind of be easy on it while we're doing this. But to go ahead and get started here, you can take this back section up and just fold this out. That'll kind of click into place. You can take his arms, utilize the two hinges, and just piece these together. Then you can fold his hands back on both sides, like so. And then you can come down here. You can fold his little heel spurs up. You can fold these sections down, and they'll kind of go all the way and kind of pop into place there. And then, before we get too much further, let's do this part. This part, okay, so it's these little gray hooks here. They clip onto this silver part, the hood. And you kind of just get your finger back here. So if you see this, there's a hinge right there. You kind of just want to push your finger here. And then just push on this bottom piece here while simultaneously like lifting on the whole section here, like that. And it'll just come apart. It's these hooks here. They just clip onto these little tabs here. Let's get that to focus. It holds on really tight, and it just worries me sometimes that it might break. But now that you have that, you can kind of hinge this whole section back. And there are, so these tabs here will now fit into these little sections up there. And it'll kind of just click into place there. Now you can come up here, just push his head back into this little hole, pull out the grill with the Pontiac logo, spin it around, and push it back in. And then take this whole front section and spin it around to get the hood up at the top of the car. You can kind of bring his arms back like so. And then, let's see, bring his arms down just for some room here. Now you want to utilize that second joint in the leg here. I'm going to click that down and then click it the rest of the way down like so. And that'll snap into place there. You don't quite want it to snap into place yet. You want to wiggle the arm up here. Get this whole section to kind of collapse inside itself. And then this tab here, there's a slot right up there. You just kind of push this all into place at the same time together, and it all pieced together. And now there is a little tab down here that you kind of just push this up, this little leg piece here, and it'll kind of hold a little bit better in there if you get that tab together. Then you just do the same on this side. Just spin his leg around. Get that up there. Pull that down a little bit and pop his arm into place. And then just tab all this in. And kind of click that down. It's kind of hard to get it all to hold right. A lot of times it likes to split here. I have yet to really find a way to prevent that. But there we have Jazz in his not wanting to stay together Pontiac Solstice vehicle mode. And that silver paint job from the robot mode carries over to the vehicle here, and it looks great. You can see it all over this car. Don't mind that. But it looks really, really good. You got the green or that blue translucent plastic for the headlights there. Pontiac logo. Pretty sure this is a licensed Pontiac. I don't think they would be able to put that little logo up there if it wasn't. And Pontiac Solstice is a small car in real life. I've seen a few of them. They are really tiny. Really quick, I'll show you this. So this little hook here that I was mentioning, it just goes into this little slot right there, like so, and it just holds there. But a Pontiac Solstice is a small car. And bringing out the SS-10 Bumblebee here, you can see, and this Bumblebee is a little out of scale. It is a little bit bigger than it should be. But you can see that Jazz is pretty darn small. And these are both deluxe class figures. This Bumblebee is a bit bigger than it really should be, though. So it's kind of an unfair comparison. But just to get one more, let's bring out the SS-21 Starscream. You can kind of see the size there. Jazz is really small. And set him up there. Just ride right up there. But getting Starscream out of here. Looking at these two again. This will be the last comparison here. I have the 86 Jazz back out. And again, I mean, this is a Pontiac Solstice. This is a Porsche something. I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's a Porsche, though. You can even kind of see a similarity in the vehicle modes. Like, they're not obviously the same vehicle or anything like that, but there is a similarity. They're both small cars, probably pretty quick. They got those big spoilers back there. Got the fog lights and everything. I feel like the 07 Jazz, this one, I feel like there was a lot more inspiration coming from this than people think. And just having these two next to each other is kind of what shows me that. But with that being said, let's get him out of here. And we can go ahead and transform back into vehicle mode, or robot mode, my bad. So where I like to start is just kind of pushing right here, you can kind of unpeg these things down here that make them loose. It just kind of loosens everything up. Kind of split this all apart here on both sides. Like that. And then I do the legs first, so I kind of get my finger up under here and just kind of untab the legs out of there. And that'll give you room to get the arms out. So just kind of get the legs out of the way. And then making sure this little section here has to come out. And then you can pull this out on these hinges down here. There's like a double hinge down there that you have to pop out. Like that. You can bring his arms down. Kind of use that little double hinge there to kind of give him some room. Flip his hands out, and these will actually go this way. They'll actually go up. Flip his hands out. You can then take this whole Pontiac section, the grill, pull that out, turn it around, push it back in. You can then take your finger and kind of get under here to pull his little head out. There we go. Pull his head out. Then you can take this whole section, rotate, take this whole section, pull it out. It's on a couple different hinges here. You want to straighten this all out here. Wrap this around, and this is that part that I dislike on this, where you got to clip this onto here. There's these little tab sections right there on each side, and these little hooks. To do it in to transform it to robot mode is a lot simpler. You just clip it. That's it. And if you remember transforming it back to vehicle mode, you have to like snap that whole section off. But now that you're here, you can straighten out. Actually take his little toe, fold that down, straighten this whole section out on his leg, and fold this up. There is a little tab, and I'll show you that. Pull his little toe down, click this down. There's a little tab right here that will kind of clip in right there. It'll kind of just hold itself there. And you come back here, pop this section down, and push this down. And we are back in robot mode. So to conclude this video here, I really like this character. I think that they did a great job. They made it look really accurate, especially in the face there. If you can see that, it's not really picking up just because it's dark colors, but the face looks really good. The paint looks really good. The size, I would say, is perfect. Everything about this character is really nice. If you can find it and you're looking for it, I would recommend you adding it to your collection because it is a nice piece. It's everything you would really need in an 07 Jazz figure. And it looks great next to the 86 Jazz. But with that being said, hope you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye.